It's time to discuss transforming data, and we're going to focus on removing duplicates first, and we might have time to transform with some mapping or with functions. So regarding duplicates, let's make a data frame called dupes, and we've created some duplicates in here. Under column K1, there's a 1 and a 1 and a 1, and there's a 2 and a 2 and a 2. There's 4 2s. And in K2 we have a couple of duplicates too. 1s are duplicates, 3s are duplicates, and 4s are duplicates. If we run this duplicated method without any parameters, it's just going to tell us the duplication on all rows. Here it says that row 6 is a duplicate, and by inspection we can tell it's a duplicate of row 5. And if we run drop duplicates without any arguments, it's simply going to drop that true duplicate. Let's add another column of vector values between 0 and 6. Let's change index row 6 and index column 2. Let's change this value right here to a 5. And then let's check for duplicates just in the V1 column. And it tells us that this 6th index value in the V1 column is a duplicate. Let's check for duplicates in the K2 column. It tells us that item 1 here is a duplicate. It tells us that item 4 here is a duplicate. That's a duplicate of this 3. And also that item 6 is a duplicate. That is a duplicate of this 4. Let's also check in the K1 column. It says that the only originals are this 1 and this 2. Everything else is a duplicate of either index 1 or index 2. And if we used drop duplicates here on K1, the only remaining rows would be index 0 and index 1. So we can use this on a column by column basis. Up here, when we used drop duplicates before, it dropped the last one. We can tell it to keep the last, and it'll drop 5 instead of 6, or we can also tell it to keep the first, and it'll behave in the same way as the default. Let's move on now to mapping or using lambda functions in order to transform data. So let's create a data frame that is going to require some transformations. In our food column, we have bacon with lowercase, and we also have bacon with uppercase. Problems like this are common with data sets. And here's another one where pastrami here is capital and pastrami here is lowercase. Let's look at some options for cleaning this up. First of all, let's create this dictionary which maps the type of meat to the type of animal. So pork obviously is pig, pastrami is beef, and lox is salmon. And then we have a number of ways in which we can approach this problem. First of all, we can just take this food column from our food data frame. We can create a new variable, and we can make all the words in here lowercase. So let's run this. And now we have a new series wherein every one of our food items has been lowercased. Now, with that in hand, we can go to our food DF data frame and say, create a new column called animal. And in that new column, we're going to map this lowercase modified series to our Python dictionary named animal. So we're mapping these together, and then we're setting this new column equal to that. So we do get our new column with all of the animals mapped to the correct meats. But in our original food column, we still have our capitals. Another approach we could take would be to create a lambda function called lower. And let's isolate what's happening here. Let's ignore this part for a moment. We're saying, take the food column from the food data frame and apply a function to it. Which function do we want to apply? This lower function. So we're processing the foods into lowercase by calling this function, and then we're mapping that lowercase to the dictionary animals. And we're accomplishing the same thing we did up here, but we're doing it in one step, right? So here we did it in 2 steps. So up here we created this lower mod, and we did that in the second step. Down here we're accomplishing that in one step. And then we're creating a new column called new column. So let's run this and see what we get. So we've achieved the same thing, and again we've not altered the original values in the food column. Now we can take this one step further, and we can incorporate this lambda function into the map function. So once again, here we're just creating a new column, and we're going to set that column equal to whatever happens over here. And we're passing the food column in as x, and then we're dropping those to lowercase at the same time that we map it to the animal dictionary. So let's run this, and then we'll output df again to explore that. And again, we've mapped our animals to our foods in a different way, but we still have the original food values undisturbed. And sometimes we'll want to do that, and at other times it would be simpler just to convert all these food values to lowercase. And that's what we're doing down here. So let's run this and then output our food data frame again.